Hi everyone, it's Nixie and I'm back for another short video about something that, in my opinion, it's very fun to learn about, but not that fun to experience. As you've read from the title, we'll be discussing what Japan did to our precious country, Indonesia. It all started from 19 okay, I'm gonna stop with the accent. It all started in 1937. An economic crisis landed upon all the nations of the world, and Japan was apparently anticipating this, as it was because of a global recession. This led them to be able to survive this crisis, which was contrasting Indonesia's situation, which was still under the Dutch colonial rule, which made them very powerful, obviously. This, and also from World War II, has made Japan on the opposite side of Dutch army. On the 11th of January 1942, Japan invaded Indonesia, specifically in Tarakan, and was able to take it over from the Dutch. Japan's success was followed by other territories, such as Balikpapan, Pontianak, Samarinda, Banjarmasin, and the entirety of Sumatra, Java, and so on and so forth. This was obviously a big pressure on the Dutch, who was forced to agree to hold negotiations. On March 8, 1942, in Kalijati, West Java, the two sides met. In the negotiations known as Kalijati Agreement, it was decided that the Netherlands surrendered unconditionally to Japan. From this victory, Japan then began to form a government in order to launch their occupation of Indonesia. In addition, Dainippon, or Japan, also carried out propaganda actions to attract the sympathy of the Indonesian people. One of the propaganda that Japan did was form the 3A movement, namely Nippon, the leader of Asia, Nippon, the protector of Asia, and Nippon, the light of Asia. Apart from the 3A movement, the Japanese military government also disseminated various other propagandas and activities and formed a series of organizations involving Indonesian, such as Defenders of the Homeland or PETA, Heiho, Seinendan, Keibodan, Barisan Pelopor, and many more. Japan needed the help of the Indonesian people to face the allies of the Second World War. But on the other hand, in its development, Dai Nippon's treatment of Indonesian people was even crueler. The application of forced labor by Romusha and sexual abuse to women is a few examples. During approximately 4.5 years of Japanese colonization of Indonesia, many losses and misery were incurred. Everything was directed for the sake of the war for Japan, so that the lives of Indonesian people were tormented, as well as the natural resources drained by Dai Nippon. Finally, in mid 1945, Japan showed signs of defeat and finally surrendered to the Allies. This situation opened up opportunities for the Indonesian nation to declare independence on August 17, 1945. That's that for the history. However, you must note that it is disgustingly shortened and simplified. But now let's discuss some things. Firstly, why Japan went to Indonesia? Well, it's to control natural resources, especially petroleum, in order to support Japan's war potential and support its industry. Java was designed as a supply center for all military operations in Southeast Asia, and Sumatra was the main source of oil. Indonesia plays a big role in keeping their supplies alive. That's what I'm trying to say. Funnily enough, there are actual benefits to Japan's colonization, such as awakening of the spirits of nationalism of the Indonesian people. Japan allowed the use of Indonesian as the national language. Rukun Tetangga, which actually maintained the community's harmony, um, and then mobilized the support of Indonesian people. They supported the formation of BPUPKI and PPKI in preparation of independence and trained and provide weapons for Indonesian, especially the youth. However, we also have the negatives, which is Ramusha. Ramusha is supposedly voluntary work, so it is only done by volunteers, such as the unemployed who are looking for work. The goal of this practice is to create places of defense and increase agricultural output. People at the time already knew that Romusha was always going to be treating them badly and inhumanely. However, and understandably so, they were too afraid to refuse Japanese orders and were afraid of the risk of their family members getting taken by force. What Romusha did was they take food belonging to Indonesian people without paying. Indonesian women are made into sexual entertainment. The voices of the people were silenced. There's no radios, no news, nothing. People's education decreased and was limited, and rampant crimes increases. Well, why'd they leave then? Why'd Japan leave? Well, unlucky for them and lucky for us, it was because of the fall of their nation. The destruction was caused by the atomic bombs on the city of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the threats from the Soviet Union made Japan realize that defeat was inevitable. Finally, on August 14, 1945, the Japanese Emperor Hirohito decided to surrender unconditionally to the Allies. It's kind of messed up to remember these sort of things, don't you agree? Humans colonizing other humans for the sake of their own country. But, you know, they have to do what they have to do, right?